see all this? You see all this? You know how long this took me to get this set up? About an hour and a half. Not too bad, but still, you won't believe how tired I was. So, anyhow, let me sit down. Let me adjust this. There we go. There we go. That'll do. So, hello. So, welcome to the last live stream of 2022. I didn't do that many. I only did this is my third one. But, regardless, good to be doing this again. It's been a bit since the last one. I think I didn't do one since October, because I did the October CD haul. So, yeah. But I think this will definitely be hopefully it won't be too long. But as you know by the title of the stream, you know that I'm going to be going through every single CD I bought in 2022. So and as you can see, I have them all divided into months. So let me just lower this one more time so you can see. So each one is divided into each month. So so obviously these two are together because I got a lot in this month. This is all the seeds I got for this month. Then we're back to clumped together here. So, yep, I was busy. I spent quite a bit of money on all these. Not all of them, but most of them. Yeah. So we already got someone in the chat. Who do we have? We have Garrett of Soundlad Studios. Lots of CDs. I could possibly buy 20 records for the same price as all that. Yep, that's the sad truth. Oh well. But glad you can be here, Garrett. I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. But before I do want to quickly tell you how many CDs I ended up buying this month. So I actually have them on the side here. So after all the months I've been collecting this year, the total goes up to 277. So I have bought 277 CDs in 2022. Oh man, all that money's gone. Oh well. We rebuild. Let's see. Are you going to show the Who's Next record too? Possibly. If there's time. Maybe at the very end. That would be cool to show. 222. And if we add them into the final total of my entire collection, so the total would be 742. So after this year, I have 744. Actually, I said 42. 44 CDs. So 744. So if we do the math, so I got my phone out. We're gonna calculate this. This is like your math lesson for today. So if we take 277, divide that by 744, you can round this total into about 37%. So all this is 37% of the collection. Wow. That's incredible. Okay, we have Mickey. Hey, Briar, I wasn't even close. Well, I mean, you're the closest one. I think you had 193. I think you said. So you weren't too far. See, wow, that's a lot of CDs. I might have 500, but I've been collecting since 1984. Wow, that's cool. 744. I only have 170 records. Yeah. And then of course we have that. All right, so let's go ahead and do this because funny enough, going on a tangent now because I had a very busy morning. So obviously getting this set up took time. But the thing is, the reason why I had to get this set up very early in the morning was because I actually was called in for work this morning. So I've been So I had to leave the house at around 8:45. I had to leave, and then I came back around 11:30. So gave me a little bit of time just to get everything set up for this. Any last minute things I needed to get cleaned up, make sure the background looks pretty good, what else? And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then once I'm done with this stream, I have to get ready for work because I have another shift this evening. So I'm gonna have a very busy day ahead of me. So let me just read one more comment before I get started. Adjusted for inflation, a single CD costs 43 back in the day in the 80s, back when vinyl was dirt cheap. Wow. It's funny how tables have turned. All right. Anyhow, let's go ahead. So, like I said, they're all divided into months, although one exception. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the first pile. So, here is the first pile. So, this is January and February combined. So, yeah, in total, I'll actually show you right here. 10 CDs in this whole throughout those 2 months, because at that point I wasn't really that I was buying stuff, but I wasn't getting that many. So this was all I got in both January and February alone. So we're gonna go through this, and I could have separated them into January and February, but the thing is I forgot which month I got them in. So yeah, and plus when I did the CD haul, I combined them there as well. So we're sticking with this for now. So let's go ahead. So here we go. Going to go in order. Each month is alphabetical order, by the way. And if it's a solo artist, it's by first name. Here we go. So obviously, as I'm going through this, feel free to put in the chat, your thoughts on all the CDs, any questions you have for me. Even though I did the Q&A a couple days ago, I'm still like an open book. So here we go. First up, we got Cheap Trick, Dream Police. Okay, I'm not going to go in depth, by the way, because since again we have a ton to get through, so I'm not going to go in depth. Next, we have Dark Throne, Blazing Northern Sky. I think this was the first black metal album I got. Yeah, Foreigner, Double Vision. So this is the second album. A lot of good stuff here. Next, we got Judas Priest with Rock'n'Rolla. So this is their debut album. It's for what it is. It's decent. Again, it's not really so much metal, but more like heavy blues rock or something like that. By this point, Rob Halford the band haven't really found their sound yet, but it's fine for what it is. But they'll do a whole lot better. Here's a really good one. We have the Michael Schenker Group with Assault Attack. Terrific album. Very good stuff. You have Graham Bonnet on lead vocals and just absolutely kills it on here. And of course, Michael Schenker, awesome guitarist. Really recommend it. Released in 1982. Here's a very underrated one. We have Rainbow with Down to Earth. So if you don't know Rainbow, of course, they had a pretty good success when they had Ronnie James Dio on lead vocals, but this one was the first one without him. And here again, you have Graham Bonnet. Of course, this is where he kind of makes his hard rock metal debut, because before he joined Rainbow, fun fact, he actually started out as a pop singer, like a disco R&B type of singer, but he went and joined Rainbow, and that's where I guess he really found that voice that he's known, that a lot of hard rock and metal people know him for. But yeah, I think this is a very underrated album. Some good stuff in here. Okay, Sparks, Kimono My House. Very cool album. Very, very different. I can't really describe. It's kind of glammy. It rocks out in spots. Has some art rock to it. But yeah, cool album. again, really, I do enjoy the vocals. That's usually a make or break for people, is Russell Mail's vocals, but I enjoy them quite a bit. All right, now we get some Christian metal. Again, I'm not religious, but I do like a little bit of Christian music, but this is actually Christian metal. We have Striper. So this one's called Soldiers Under Command. This is like their second album, I think. Second, first, I don't know, it's kind of murky. I can't really, because I know they released an EP before this, but then they turned it into a full-length album, so it's confusing. But yeah, really good one. Some good guitar work on that. And I bought another Striper album. We have In God We Trust. Again, pretty good album. A bit more commercial sounding. A lot more. There's a couple more ballads on here, but I'm a sucker for ballads, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But yeah, very cool. Here's the members on the band, by the way, on the back with the hair, and the yellow and black and yellow attire. Very different, I must say. Then the final album I bought in January and February, and it's a live album. We have Wings Over America. Of course, Paul McCartney and Wings right here. Just want to open it up. Got that cool artwork, kind of replicating what the vinyl was. This is a very, very good live album. It's pretty much a greatest hits. You have like some of the big songs. You have Venus and Mars. You got Maybe I'm Amazed. Lady Madonna. He does a couple Beatles songs on this. The Long and Winding Road, Live and Let Die, Yesterday, Silly Love Songs. Yeah, terrific one. Definitely a good. I think it's a good starter if you want to get Paul McCartney and Wings albums. So there you have it. All right, so that is January and February all done. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side, and we'll move on to the next pile. Okay. Let's see what you've been saying. Let's see. Let's go back. See. Adjusted for inflation. Okay, I read that already. Some of it was made dirt cheap. Any record made post 1987 was flimsy. I don't doubt that. Okay, my George Harrison Cloud 9 album is so thin. Interesting. Double Vision, yep, great album. I last bought vinyl in '88. Genesis Duke was my last vinyl purchase. Well, that's a pretty good one. I do enjoy Duke. You see, Garrett agrees. Top 5 for him. Is it odd that I think Abacab might be my favorite Genesis album? It's not one of my favorites, but I still enjoy it. Like No Reply at All is probably my favorite song on that album. Love the horns on it. It's a good album, but I'm a big fan of either early Genesis or post Genesis 82. Abacab was my intro to Genesis. Invisible Touch is great. Hair's Gonna Hate. Hey, I love Invisible Touch. I love it. It's like what? I forgot where I put it. It was like top. I know it was in the top 10 when I did that ranking video way back. Okay, yep. I have Wings Over America on 8-track. Okay, interesting. Okay, and I'll have to check out Wings Over America. I'm more a fan of Paul McCartney with the Beatles. Well, you'll really enjoy it, Garrett. I really think you'll enjoy it. I mean, Wings in general, I really need to get into more, but because there's some really good stuff. So yeah. So let's move on. So we're done with January and February, and now let's head to March with 22 CDs this time. So let me just hide that. Let me just go and get them. So hopefully I don't drop any. Here we go. So this is March. So obviously a lot more to cover here. So here we go. We have Alcatraz kind of completing the the Graham Bonnet trilogy. So I got Down to Earth, Assault Attack, and now we got Alcatraz with Graham Bonnet. Here's the band. You have Graham in the center here, and it's pretty funny. You have Yngwie Malmsteen right here on guitar. Quite a pairing there. So yeah, really good album. Released in 1983. Just a good old 80s hard rock, a little bit of heavy metal there. And again, Graham sounds great as well. So definitely worth checking out. Camel with Mirage. Again, another pretty well known progressive rock album. I enjoy this quite a bit. I definitely need to re-listen to this one again, but I do enjoy this one. Some good stuff on here. Okay, we have Cosmos Factory with CCR. I mean, I did the ranking video, but kind of spoiler alert. This is my favorite CCR album. Terrific, awesome stuff. And we got another CCR album. We have Pendulum. Again, very strong album. It's kind of more on the. This is more on the low side. It was kind of on the low side, but still, I enjoy this one. I mean, have you ever seen The Rain on It, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. And then other songs in here are very good. You have Pagan Baby, Sailor's Lament, Chameleon. Yeah, solid stuff. And now we get to everyone's favorite CCR album. Chorus is Mardi Gras, right? We all love Mardi Gras. Yep. Jokes aside, but yeah, I got this one because might as well get the whole catalog. But yeah, we all know how. I mean, it's not the worst album in the world, but it's definitely pales. It does not. It does not at all live up to what we know of Creedence Clearwater Revival. But of course, we all know how terrible. Like it has the worst opening track to any album ever, with Looking for a Reason. Just a terrible opening track. And then you have Sue Cook's songs, which are just laughably terrible. And then Doug Clifford's songs are kind of just there, But John's songs are the standouts. Have Somebody Never Comes. I kind of blinked for a sec. But yeah, it's whatever. I got another black metal album. We got Under a Funeral Moon, again by Dark Throne. This was actually the first Dark Throne album I listened to. I listened to on Spotify, but I bought Blazing Northern Sky first. Yeah, I still enjoy this one. Deep Purple with their debut, Shades of Deep Purple. Of course, you have Rod Evans on lead vocals before Ian Gillan would join. And for what it is, it's pretty good. Again, it's more psychedelic hard rock more than anything. It's not really so much the stuff we're familiar with, but it has the hits Hush on it, which is a cover, by the way. Some good stuff here. I mean, you have Hey Joe, again, another cover by Jimi Hendrix. One More Rainy Day. But yeah, it's fine. It's a pretty good debut, but again, they would do much better. Okay, we got another Deep Purple album. We have Burn. Very good one. This is the first one we have David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes on vocals. Very, very good album. I mean, the title track is obviously one of the big standouts here. Of course, you have Mistreated as well. Sail Away, Lay Down, Stay Down, You Fool No One. Yeah, very good album. All right, now this one's probably going to get... Some people are either going to be like, what the heck? Why do you have this? Or what the heck is that? Well, I just got it because, I don't know why. We got Mission Earth by Edgar Winter. So I think I talked about this briefly back when I did the original CD Hall. So this is Edgar Winter collaborating with L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of the Church of Scientology. It's so bizarre. Like, it's kind of one of the weirdest collaboration albums ever. But to me, it's kind of, I don't know, I kind of like it. Even though the lyrics are terrible, like they're hilariously terrible. But it's so 80s, it's so cheesy, but I kind of have fun with it. I don't know. It's a weird album, but I don't know. It's here. Got to have some, kind of obscure albums in the collection, shall we say? Anyhow, Elton John next with his self-titled. Very good. Obviously not the debut. It's a second album, technically, but still very good. Of course, has your song on it. Take Me to the Pilot, Border Song. The King Must Die is and also a really good one. Tumbleweed Connection, another big surprise because I very much enjoyed this album. I'm not sure if this is my. I think I can't remember if I said this was my favorite. If I did, it's kind of changed. I've definitely put a top 5 though. I don't know where though. Don't Shoot Me. I'm Only the Piano Player. Again, by this point, Elton John was literally on fire. And then we have Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Now, I actually did own a copy before I bought this particular issue. I think the original one I had was an older pressing, or not pressing, an older issue of it. But the problem with that issue was that it was like not the best audio quality, and so I got this remastered version. And yeah, it sounds a lot better. So yeah. But we all know this is a classic album. Okay, Black Milk returns with Fear of Eternity, and this is their album, Spirit of Sorrow. I always enjoyed. I kind of really like the somberness of the cover. This is more of an ambient sort of black metal because it still has the black metal vocals. Oops, I was trying to make it stand. There we go. It still has the black metal vocals, but it's kind of not so much your typical black metal. It's more ambient, has more like a more soundscapey type of vibe. Very enjoyable. Definitely, it's kind of a depressing album. It definitely has a very sad sound to it. So if you're not into sad music, then it might not be for you. The Go-Go's, Beauty and the Beats. Yep, I enjoy the Go-Go's quite a bit. I enjoy a lot of the hits, but I pretty much enjoy the whole album, really. I don't think there's a bad song on here. It's just a fun, it's not like deep music or anything, but it's just fun music. Heart, with their debut, Dreamboat Annie. Again, gotta love Heart and Wilson, Nancy Wilson. Can't get any better than that. Immortal, at the Heart of Winter, another black metal album. Look at that. Look at them on the back. But yeah, this is probably my favorite black metal album, really, because it incorporates a lot of thrash elements to it, which, kind of like Metallica and Megadeth, but you still have the black metal stuff. So I enjoy that quite a bit. So yeah, cool stuff. Judas Priest, Turbo Lover. Another one where people can say this is one of their favorites, right? Half right. Well, half right. I know this album has some level of respect nowadays, but of course, from what I've heard, obviously I wasn't born back then, but when this came out, people were like, what the heck is this? But Turbo Lover is a great song. I enjoy Turbo Lover. And the other songs on here are also worth checking out. Again, it's very different, but I don't mind it. Sabotage, Hall of the Mountain King. Another great 80s metal album. Fantastic stuff. Love the vocals, love the production on here. But kind of like another one of those like theatrical type of sounds to it that I've always enjoyed. So very awesome. Definitely want to get more Sabotage sometime in the future. We also got some Steely Dan. Can't Buy a Thrill. Awesome, great debut. I've talked about this before. Me and Garrett talked about this along with Nick. So we all know this is a terrific debut. But this one is also really very good. Of course, we have The Royal Scam. Absolutely spectacular. This is my favorite Steely Dan album. I love the funk. Love the funk on here. Love the jazz. It's a perfect blend of jazz and funk. Spectacular album. And then finally, the last CD for March, we got Tool, with Lateralis. And it's kind of cool is that this actually comes off. You get the cover art. The back there just has this really cool design. And the booklet, I mean, the booklet's kind of whatever. It's just one of those things where if you just turn the page, it kind of just peels. The thing just peels away. So you kind of are going inside. And pretty cool. I mean, sucks there's no lyrics, but oh well. What can you do about that? And I said it before, I do like Tool, but I just don't love them. They're fine. They're fine. When I'm in the right mood, and if I want to put on some Tool, then I'll have a good time with it, but not very often. All right, so there we go. That's March covered. So now I'm going to put this away, and then I'll look at the chat, and we'll continue on. Okay, hopefully I don't drop anything. That's the big fear right now. The real big pain is that once I'm done, I got to put all this away. Here we go, and now we're up to April. So let me just adjust that. Okay, let me just be double sure. Okay. Yeah, so April was a bigger year. So this is not all of them. Yeah. There we go. All right. I'll be right there. Let me just look at something. Let's see. Just want to be double sure I'm on track here. I'm not messing up. Okay, I'm good. Awesome. All right, now let's go to the chat. Let's see if I remember where we left off. I know I saw this, so I like Band on the Run and Ram. Yep, those are good albums. Yeah, I remember Band on the Run when it was new. I didn't actually listen to the album until the early 80s. All right, interesting. Well, I didn't listen to it till this year. Well, when I know I heard it in high school, so I can't remember when. 2017, I want to say 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. Yep, my favorite CCR album, Jason's 2. Nick had too low. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, good old Nick. Pendulum is going to be featured in my vinyl. So, yeah, we'll wait to spoil it there, Garrett. I'm joking. I'm just joking. But yeah, that's cool. You got Pendulum. Yeah, it's a really strong album. I'm never buying Mardi Gras. Well, I don't blame you. Well, that's probably not the best way to phrase it. Yeah, well, I won't argue with that. Anyhow. Okay, Rod Evans reminds me of a wannabe Elvis, but it's still enjoyable. Yeah, I mean, honestly, he doesn't really sound like Elvis to me, but that's just how he sounds. And of course, I know about the controversy Rod Evans did in the 80s. He tried to put on a Deep Purple, like his own version of Deep Purple, but that failed miserably. And we never heard from him after that. Burn is awesome title track, and you fool no one are top 10 for me. Very cool. Is that the Infinity Gauntlet? Scientology is whack. Well, yeah, I won't question that. I don't doubt that. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Funny enough, I took a course in college talking about philosophy. It was some kind of philosophy class, and I think one of the assignments was to talk about like some kind of cult, pick a cult and write about it, and just see how it got big. And I chose Scientology just because of the Edgar Winter thing. So yeah, it's weird. It's whatever. I don't care about Scientology. Anyhow, I saw him in concert 20 years ago. He was entertaining. Oh, very cool. He has 2 great songs. I love that Elton John album. Probably my second favorite of his. Okay, I'm assuming it was either the second album, it was either the self-titled album or Tumbleweed Connection. But yeah, regardless, Elton John was just absolutely spectacular during that time. Bought lots of Elton John albums this year too. All of his albums from Empty Sky to Rockin' the Westies. Yeah, I'm kind of missing a little bit. I don't have Rockin' the Westies yet. I don't have Empty Sky. So hopefully we'll finish that. We'll finish those up. You buy morale stepping up for industry. I'm sorry, I don't really understand that. So I apologize for that. But like, thank you for stopping by, for watching though. We appreciate it. Okay, I think it was Turbo Lovers vids that upset fans. Yeah, that might have. Those videos were kind of very cheesy for the time. Sabotage is basically Trans-Siberian Orchestra's first form. Yeah, but still good though. I love it. I finally bought the Royal Scam. Unfortunately, I'm not sure it's going to arrive before my live stream. Well. Yeah, but still, good job for getting the Royal Scam. I just love that album. Like, but not love. Kind of how I feel about U2. Well, yeah, you're not alone there, Garrett. Yeah, U2 has U2 are kind of divided. We have Adam. What the gym? Hello. Glad you can stop by. And here's a surprising one. We have Scott from the Prog Corner. Hey, good. Glad you can be here. Elton John auditioned for both King Crimson and Gentle Giant. I think I read about that. Yeah, I think yes, that actually was true. I don't know how that would have sounded though. I don't know how that would fit. But yeah, that's cool. Glad you can stop by. Glad you're watching here, Scott. Briar, what's happening? I'm doing a live stream. But yeah, I'm very tired because I have a shift later for work today. So yeah, but yeah, I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good, Christopher. Glad you can be here. Yeah, moving on. Okay, I'm gonna go through a couple more comments here, and then I'm gonna get back to April. Look out! It's the Upside Down Solar Federation. I think that's a Scientology joke. But yeah, Royal Scam is my favorite Dan album. Yeah, me too. Love it. All right, let me do one more. So Christopher, Christopher, Avantasia, the Wicked Symphony is the best find this year for me. Okay, I never heard of that one. I have to probably look into that one. But yeah, very cool. All right, now let's go on to April. So throughout the month of April, the grand total was 28. So a little bit more than last month, than March, but still we're getting there. All right, first up, Aha. You have Hunting High and Low. Yeah, good old synth pop. Of course, Take On Me, the big hit on here. I still love it. I just it's just good synth pop. Some people might not like this sort of synthy sound of the 80s. Some people, to me, when I think of the 80s, this is one of the albums I think of. Again, some people may not like that, but I like it. You have a greatest hits. We got Barry Manilow with Ultimate Manilow. Yeah, if you want to get Barry Manilow, this is it. Get this. I don't know if I should get an album by him though. Let me know if there's a good Barry Manilow album worth checking out. Bob Dylan, Slow Trade Coming. This is where he's going in a more Christian sound. This is when he converted to Christianity. But still, very good album. You have Mark Knopfler guesting on this album, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. And then we kind of completing the unholy trinity of black metal. We have Transylvanian Hunger, again by Dark Throne. So, probably my least favorite of the trilogy, but I still enjoy it. Again, the big problem I have with this album is that it has that same drop beat that plays throughout the whole album that gets kind of tiring after a while. But it's fine. It's not a long album, thankfully. Okay, next. We have David Bowie with Low. Terrific album. I love this one. Just top to bottom, just a great album experience. Even the ambient stuff are great. Yeah, fantastic album. And it's probably not going to be the last David Bowie you're going to see later on, but yeah, it's very good stuff. We have another Deep Purple, and this one is Book of Taliesin, which is their second album. So I bought the first album last in March, and now we get the second album. It's probably my least favorite of these three, but it's fine. But yeah, I'm just gonna go right into it because I also bought the self-titled album, their third album, and this is probably my favorite of this period. It definitely has it rocks more. It's not so much psychedelic, but definitely you're starting to see them going in that more hard rock direction. And of course, on the next album within rock, they would hit their stride. But still, this is my favorite of the Rod Evan period. I mean, Chasing Shadows is pretty good. Blind, Why Don't Rosemary, and the last track, April, is very good. So yeah, solid. You have more Elton John with Hunky Chateau. Yep, I had to get more of this period of Elton John. Yeah, it has Rockin' Man. It's got Hunky Cat. It's got probably one of my favorite Elton John songs with Mona Lisa and Mad Hatters. I always love that song. Yeah, glad to have this one here. Enya, everyone's favorite artist. Well, it's not my favorite artist, but I enjoy it for what it is. It's not the type of music I'll want to go for, but it's fine. I mean, I only got it just because it has Only Time on it, and I always love the Only Time. It's kind of a slow type of ballad, but I enjoy this one. It was, I think, for a period of my life, I'd say I was like 8. It was when I was 8 years old. I heard the song for the first time. Like, this is the greatest song ever. It's gone down, but still, I still have fond memories of this song. And now we get to one of my really great surprise. We have Gene Clark with No Other. Yeah, I know Larry Graves and Glenn Kelly from The Basement, they showed this album before, and that made me want to go check this one out. And I really agree. This is a great album. One of Gene's best. Well, I haven't heard all of his solo albums, but it's definitely a terrific album. It blends like country, folk, even some gospel, soul. Yeah, top to bottom, like no bad songs on here, all killer, no filler here. If you've not heard this one and you enjoy the type of music I described, please go ahead, give it a listen. Jethro Tull. We have Aqualung. Yep, got this one earlier this year. I enjoy this one quite a bit. Me and Jethro Tull, it's kind of a weird relationship. I like them, but again, they're one of those bands they haven't really fully clicked for me yet. Again, I like it. I do enjoy it, but I think I need to listen to this one, Jethro Tull, a bit more. But yeah, I have big respect for Ian Anderson and all that stuff. So yeah, Aqualung. Joni Mitchell. We have Court and Spark. Yeah, this is my favorite Joni album currently. I just, again, absolutely love this album. I mean, Joni Mitchell is one of my favorite female artists ever. Fans just absolutely adore this album. Just a perfect blend of folk. You have a little bit of a jazz edge to it, and it just sounds absolutely incredible. So yeah, I love it. Then Kate Bush makes her first appearance. By this point, I had not gone through my obsession yet, but this kind of started it a little bit. We have The Sensual World. This is the follow-up to The Hounds of Love. And, this is still pretty good. Obviously, I don't think it's as good as Hounds of Love, but regardless, still has some good songs on here. The title track, Love and Anger, Reaching Out, Heads Were Dancing, Deeper, Misunderstanding, and of course, As This Woman's Work, which is just a beautiful song by her. All right, and then we get to the Kinks. This is my only Kinks album currently. We got Arthur, or for the full title, we have Arthur or the Decline and Fall of the British Empire. So yeah, this is my first and again, only Kinks album I have so far. This is a deluxe edition. This has disc 1 is the original mono album plus some bonus stuff, and the disc 2 is the stereo mix. Both sound pretty good. But yeah, for first Kinks album, this is really good one. Excuse me. I think, yeah, I definitely would like to get into more of the Kinks next year. I probably will get Lola next. That's a pretty good one. But yeah, good one. Good find. Good purchase, I should say. Okay, next, the Mamas and the Papas. If you can believe your ears, eyes and ears. Not, I always get that confused. But just some good old-fashioned 60s pop. I mean, California Dreaming. Love that song. Monday, Monday. I Call Your Name. See, I Got a Feeling. Somebody Groovy. Yeah, gotta have some of that. Meatloaf with Bad Attitude. So I wanted to get more Meatloaf because, as you know, we did lose him earlier this year. I think back in January. Definitely a huge loss. And so for a long time, I wanted to get another one, and luckily I was able to get this one. Very good album. I enjoy this one. Obviously, it's not as good as Bad Out of Hell. I mean, nothing can top that one, but yeah, this is still a very good album. You have the title track, which actually is a duet with him and Roger Daltrey from The Who. So very good song there. Then Modern Girl, Nowhere Fast. That's probably my favorite song on here, Nowhere Fast. That's a very good high energy song. Cheating in Your Dreams, Don't Leave Your Mark on Me. A very solid album. Yeah. And then I got this little collection with the Monkees. We have, of course, I'll show them real quick, but it has the first 5 Monkees albums. Of course, you have the debut, which I enjoy. Then more of the Monkees. Then we have Headquarters. Then you have Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones Limited, which is probably my favorite Monkees album. And I'm seeing my icon. My internet's kind of funky, so if I'm glitching out, I apologize for that. So here we go. I'm going to keep going. And then lastly, it has the Birds, the Bees, and the Monkees, which is probably my least favorite, honestly, unfortunately, but it's still pretty good. It has Daydream Believer on it. So there you have it. I went for this because I originally was trying to find them by themselves, but it was just so tricky. It was really hard to come by. So I thought, forget it. I'm just gonna get this. Anyhow, still got a few more to go. Just hold on, just checking something real quick. All right, I'm good. Okay, the Moody Blues. We have In Search of the Lost Chord. Very good album. This is definitely more of a psychedelic album, but still very good. You have the members of the band right there. Awesome album. And then we also got On the Threshold of a Dream. This is another good one. This is definitely a bit more proggy. It still has a bit of psychedelic rock in here, but more prog here, which is I enjoy a bit more. And I really enjoy the album cover. I have no idea what this is supposed to be, but still, I like the purple. I kind of like the purple blue color here. Really has a real dreamlike quality, and I like the rose there on the back. That's pretty cool. So yeah, awesome. Mott. We have Mott the Hoople with Just Mott. Another great album. Ian Hunter and Company. Fun album. Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears. One of his 90s albums. Pretty good. I think this is to most people, this is like the last really great Ozzy Osbourne album. And then he'd kind of go through a period of just like mediocre stuff. But, oh well. You got more Sparks with, what was this one called? Propaganda. Another good album. You have Ron and Russell Mael being kidnapped. So there you have it. I think there's another picture on the inside. I'm going to find it. There it is. Kind of very interesting, but they're an interesting band, is all I'll say. Another Steely Dan album. We got Pretzel Logic. So yeah, not one of my favorite. It's not one of my. Well, it's a good album, but if I were when I ranked this with Nick and Garrett, this was kind of more on the lower side, but still a good album. And the last one for April, we got Sting, The Soul Cages. It's a good album. I like it. Again, when it comes to Sting solo stuff, I'm not hugely into it. But it's fine for what it is. But when I want to listen to Sting, I usually just go for the Police stuff. But it's whatever. So there you have it. That is April done. We're not even halfway done. Oh, what did I get? What did I do? What did I do to myself? Why do I do this to myself? Anyhow, I'm gonna go back. Okay, let me go ahead and put this away, and then I'll look at the chats. Okay. Let me get a quick drink as well. I learned from my last couple of streams. Always have something to drink, especially if you're going to be talking for a long time. Oh yeah, my throat needed that. Okay, moving on. So back to the chat. Okay. All right, that Aha album is actually pretty good. It is pretty good. Other songs on there, I really like High and Low, the title tracks. Very good song. And also the other kind of minor hit was The Sun Always Shines on TV. Yeah, that one. Yeah, some other great stuff on that one. A certain Bob Dylan album is going to be on my live stream Saturday. Oh, that'll be interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to watch it because I might be in Mexico. This weekend. I kind of don't want to, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I might be in Mexico this weekend. But hopefully I'll be able to watch it still. Hopefully the internet's good there. Low, so good. Pitchfork's #1 album of the 70s. That's pretty cool. Yeah, terrific. Okay, can Briar handle the blasting cold of Darkthrone? Yes, I can. Yeah, I've gotten. Yeah, I mean, I'm still at a point. I'm at going back. Like at a point as of right now, I still wouldn't say I'm. Like I still need to be in the right mood. Basically, if I want to listen to a black metal album, I gotta be in the right mood still. But when I'm in the right mood, it's usually pretty good. I prefer the Book of Deep Purple. I do too. And we have Jason here. Hey, Jason, good to see you. It's been a bit since I last saw you. But yeah, good to see you. Okay, the third is the best of the Mark 3 or 2. Is that supposed to be 3 or 2? I think it's supposed to be 3. Mark 3. The third, if you're either talking about Come Taste the Band. But yeah, I haven't heard that one yet, but I hope to get that one pretty soon. Okay, and you used to be a member of Clannad. I have heard of them, but I have not heard an actual song by them. So, but I have read that she was part of a group before, which is interesting. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. Okay, I reviewed Aqualung earlier this year. Yep, I saw that. Thick as a Brick is better. Ian Anderson is probably the most eccentric frontman ever. Yeah, that's one thing I really do love about Ian Anderson. I love his stage presence, especially if you watch clips very early on. He's just like going around. He's just twirling the flute around. I love it. What are some good songs on Court and Spark? Let me go back. Let me see. Of course, Help Me. Like Help Me is a great one. That's probably the big hit on the album. The title track's great opening song. People's Party is a very good underrated song. I love the melody in that one, and lyrically is really good. Car on the Hill, just like this train, Raised on Robbery, Troubled Child. Yeah, this like top to bottom. Like to me, there's no bad song on here. Really, you can't go. You can't go wrong with any of it. Okay, let's keep going. All right. Yeah. Again, we have 5 people in here currently. Again, thank you so much for stopping by and watching the stream. I really do appreciate it, especially all the people in the chat here. see. My friend Zach bought me the King's Greatest Hits in mono for Christmas. That's pretty cool. He's going to be on my channel when we review Weezer's debut album. Okay, that should be pretty interesting. Okay, I never listened to Meatloaf. Well, we need to fix that, Garrett. Get Bad Out of Hell. So let me just show you. So for Meatloaf, you gotta get this one. You gotta get Bad Out of Hell. Absolutely terrific album. One of my favorite albums of all time. Just absolutely spectacular. There he is on the back. That's what he looks like. Again, very theatrical. It's very, kind of not really heavy, but it rocks out a lot bit. Definitely has a very, again, like I said, very theatrical, because Meatloaf kind of started out in theater, so the album has a very almost sounds like a play, but it's not a bad way, because I love that sound. To me, the more theatrical, the better. But yeah, spectacular album. I love it. One of my favorites. Put that there for now. I have only Meatloaf Bad Out of Hell 3. Interesting. Yeah, I only have Bad Out of Hell 1 and 2. I don't have 3 yet. But I know one song from Bad Out of Hell 3, because I know Brian May guest stars on one of the songs on that. So that's pretty good. Roger Daltrey. I'll have to check that out. It's a good song. I like it. Bad Attitude. That's the name of the song. Bad Attitude, with Meatloaf and Roger Daltrey. It's kind of funny, because when you first hear it, you can't. Sometimes there are times you can't really tell. Like, you're hearing both of them, and it's like they kind of sound kind of similar. But eventually you'll get to the point where, okay, I know this is Roger. So yeah. I only have Headquarters. I bought it when Mike died. Yeah, very good album. I want to see something funny. If you want to see something funny with Roger Daltrey on it, check out the movie Vampiriella 90s. He's a vampire. Well, I didn't know Roger Daltrey had an acting career. I've not seen any movies besides Tommy that he was in. I listened to Days of Future Past this year. It's really good. Yep. Very good album. I do have it on CD. I still need to buy it. I like how the album is basically just a daily routine. Yeah, pretty much. It just tells you a whole day. Ultimate Sin was Ozzy's last decent album. Yeah. I do like Ordinary Man. I like that song. I like the album. The Patient Number 9 thing, like that one I didn't care for. But I enjoyed Ordinary Man. I think there were some good songs on that album. Let's do a couple more. We're almost there. After I get through these done, after I get finished here, I'll finish these last couple comments here, and then we'll get back into it. Blanked out for a sec. Sting was better with the Police. Synchronicity, my favorite. Yeah, I agree. Hey, I'm having fun. I don't care how long this is. Well, I care, because like I said, I have a night shift. I have to go back to work later. I need to be done by roughly 3:45 at most. 3:45 at most. We'll see, because I need to eat something. I'll probably snack on something, but anyhow. Mark 1. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, thanks for clarification. Come Taste the Band's a cool album, especially the song Getting Tight. Yeah, very cool. I've always enjoyed Synchronicity, but I was kind of disappointed when it was released. I thought it was too poppy, other than Walking in Your Footsteps and Synchronicity 2. All right, interesting. I mean, of course, it has Mother on it. Oh man, Mother! What a song that is. I saw them on the tour. They had changed quite a bit as a band. Changed as a band. Backup singers, very commercial mouth. Team band from the early 80s. Okay. Who Are You is very theatrical. Yeah, has its moments. And last album, before we get back into it, check out Monument and their album, Chase the Dragon. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I'll write this down later, but yeah, thanks for the recommendation. So let's go ahead. Now we're back. So we're in May now. Luckily, I didn't get that many CDs in May, so I'll show you. We got 18 this time. So let's get them. Here we go. Here we go. So first up, Black Sabbath with Born Again, with this very, very, some people like it, some people don't, but pretty interesting album cover. Bet he's not going to read this one. Well, I did, so I'm sorry. Black Sabbath, Born Again. So this is the only album with Ian Gillan on lead vocals. So Ian Gillan, again, he's at this point he's doing his solo thing. Black Sabbath needed a new singer because Dio had left. But at one night, Ian Gillan and Tony Iommi, I think Geezer Butler was there too. They were drinking one night. They were good friends. They were drinking one night. They all got hammered. The next day, Ian woke up. His manager calls him, and then his manager's like, "Hey, congratulations to getting a Black Sabbath." And Ian was like, "What?" And lo and behold, they made an album. And I gotta say, it's a good album. I like it. Some people don't like it, mainly because of the production. It's very muddy. It's definitely not the most pristine production ever. But I don't mind it. I think it's still pretty good. And Ian Gillan still, still has the great stuff we love about Ian Gillan. His screams and all that. But yeah, very good album. Trashed, Disturbing the Priest, Zero the Hero, Born Again, Hotline. Hotline's a great song. Keep It Warm. Yeah, I like it. It's a good album. Carole King with Tapestry. Yep, another terrific album. One of my favorites here. Yep, no bad songs on here. Absolutely love it. Love Carole's vocals and lots of great songs in here. Okay, we got David Bowie once again with Station to Station. Another fantastic album. This might actually be my favorite David Bowie album. If not, maybe my second. Because this one and Hunky Dory kind of flip-flop. But yeah, this is a good album. There's only 6 songs here, but still fantastic one. Love this one a lot. Deep Purple, once again, this time with the live album, we have Made in Japan, a terrific live album. Definitely essential for Deep Purple. Love it. Yep. I mean, the performance here is great. The whole band's just on fire. You still have their jams, their ongoing jams. Their improvisation is just terrific to listen to. But yeah, not much else to say. Enya once again with Shepherd Moons. Yeah, I might as well, because I saw it in a thrift store and I was like, I have one Enya, so I might as well give this one a listen. Yeah. I mean, this bass kind of sounds like the other one, but it's what it is what it is. But yeah, I like it. Again, not something I would go out of my way to listen to, but it's kind of more like a mood thing, Okay, we got a soundtrack album. We got The Lion King. So yeah, of course, I love the movie, so might as well get the soundtrack. This was also at a thrift store. I mean, you have Elton John and Tim Rice on here, plus Hans Zimmer is helping out as well. I mean, it has a lot of the memorable songs we all know, like of course, Circle of Life. I just can't wait to be king. Be prepared. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And probably not popular opinion, but it has Hakuna Matata on, which I am sick of, honestly. But still, it's well known. But so, yeah, Lion King. Madonna, Like a Prayer. So far, this is my only Madonna album. I like Madonna. I haven't listened to everything she's made, but I like it. Yeah, not much to say on that one. Marillion. We got some Marillion this year. We have Clutching at Straws. Wow, this is another terrific album. So again, for those who don't know Marillion, especially during this period. This is with their first singer, Fish. This is the last album that Fish was featured in before he would kind of leave and go on his own. But yeah, this is a terrific album. It has kind of like a Genesis sound to it because Fish kind of has a sort of Peter Gabriel like sound to him, but I enjoy that, and musically is also very good. So yeah, Marillion, Clutching at Straws, kind of a depressing album because from what I've read, this is a lot of the Fish wrote the lyrics to this, and a lot of it was dealing with some of the. He was kind of not in a good headspace during this time, and he kind of put it all on this album, and you can definitely feel it, but it's definitely a great listen. Like I like albums like that where you can kind of feel an artist's pain in a sense. It's kind of a weird way to phrase it, but yeah, terrific album. We also got into some jazz this year. We have Miles Davis with A Kind of Blue. Yep, it's a classic one. Definitely a good listen. Again, definitely an album to put on if I'm working on my computer, and if I'm not really feeling anything, like if I don't really want to listen to anything heavy. I just want to put on something that will just play in the background, something pleasant. This is one I go to. Definitely a good album to put on when you're to kind of fill the mood, But that's not the only Miles Davis I got. I also went out and got In Silent Way, which came out in 1969. So this came out in 1959, and this came out in 1969. So 10 years later, here Miles is going in a more jazz fusion direction. So I like jazz fusion. To me, I kind of prefer jazz fusion more than traditional jazz. I still like traditional jazz, but I love jazz fusion because there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more experiment. There's a lot more like instrumentation, I guess if you want to call it that. Yeah, 2 songs on here. It's only 2 songs on here, but both of them are very good. They're very much an experience to listen to. But yeah, I enjoy this one. So, In a Silent Way by Miles Davis. Speaking of Peter Gabriel earlier, we have Us. Yeah, so this is the follow-up to So, and I love So. This one is still good, but it's not as good, but it's fine. It's a bit long. That's the only thing I'll say. It's a bit too long, but it's fine. Funny story about this CD. So this is a used copy, and when I originally bought this one, I put it in the computer, and it would always skip one song because the disc has like a little, not like a big scratch, but a little couple scratches on it, and so for a long time I could never really truly listen to the album proper. But luckily, I bought this stuff. I'm not sponsored, by the way. This is not a sponsored stream, but I bought this. This is called Novus. This is like a scratch remover. So you just put this on the disc, and then you literally just rub it. You kind of scrub it with a fiberglass cloth, and then you just kind of rub it in, and then after you kind of let it rest, and then after about a minute or so, you wipe it off. And I tried this on this, and it worked. So yeah, if your disc has scratches, you might give this a try. This might actually work. It comes in different versions. This one's a 2. There's a 1 and a 3. Obviously, the 3 is more abrasive, and 1's not as abrasive. But this 2 is kind of like a middle ground. So yeah, give this a shot if you haven't tried it yet. But yeah, good album. Moving on. We have another soundtrack album. We have another one that Elton John was involved with, The Road to El Dorado. So this was a DreamWorks movie, and I remember watching this film when I was a kid. There's Elton right there. And yeah, I saw it, and I'm like, might as well get it. So here it is. Yeah. Obviously, if you've seen the movie, you know the songs, but that's basically it. That's all I gotta say about that one. Sex Pistols, Never Mind the Bollocks, their first and only album. Definitely a classic punk album. A lot of good songs on here. I like it. Not a whole lot to say. I did get another Stings album. I got The Sumner's Tale. Another pretty good one. I do like it. Probably better than the Soul's Cages. I really got it because it has what's the song? Shape of My Heart. Yeah, Shape of My Heart was on here, and I like that song, so I got it just because that. Everything else is also pretty good. Okay, to all my Canadian viewers, I got one Tragically Hip CD. So this one is pretty banged up. This looks like this was from the 80s. And surprisingly, it still works very good. Like it still sounds very nice. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, Tragically Hip for first album, I'm pretty good. I like it. I don't have a whole lot to say, but it's just a good old fashioned 80s rock album. So if there's another Tragically Hip album that's worth checking out, let me know. Would like to definitely want to dive into more of them someday. After that, we're gonna go with UFO with Phenomenon. So this is the first album with Michael Schenker on lead guitar. Before Michael was in Scorpions for briefly, but yeah, a good hard rock album. By this point, UFO had kind of ditched their early sound because on their first two albums they were kind of more of a space rock act. But when Michael joined the group, they really went in a more hard rock approach, which definitely a good direction. It has Dr. Doctor, Rock Bottom, Oh My, Time on My Hands, Queen of the Deep. Yeah, a good album. My bass moved for a sec. I think my house is haunted. No, never mind. Moving on. That was a bad joke. Vanessa Williams. Pretty good. 90s R&B kind of dance song music. I really got it just because it has Save the Best for Last, which is a ballad, which I love. So yeah, but everything else is pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it. The title track, Running Back to You, Stranger Eyes. Yeah, I like it. Final album I'm in May, right? Yeah, May. I've blacked out for a sec. So last CD I got in May is The Wallflowers. Let me see if I can just put there. Yeah, The Wallflowers. So this is Jacob Dylan's project. Of course, Jacob Dylan, of course, son of Bob Dylan. And yeah, another big surprise. I love this. I really enjoyed this album. Great songs on here. You have One Headlight, which is a pretty good number. See, Bleeders. I think that's a good song. Let me just look at the booklet just to make sure. See, 60th Avenue, Heartache, The Difference, Josephine. Yeah, another very good album. Another good surprise this year. So yeah, that's The Wallflowers. This is called Bringing Down the Horse, by the way. All right, that's enough of May. We're going to head into June in a sec. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let me just get rid of this banner, and then we'll put these away, and then we'll look at the chat. All right. I should probably get the next one ready while I'm ahead. All right, we're going to June. There we go. All right. Let's go back. That Born Again album cover is atrocious. I'm not gonna argue with that. It's definitely something. It definitely catches your eye though. Bowie's Cocaine album, yep. Station to Station, yeah. That was, yep. Now is one of his brightest, his most happiest period. You have Eddie Eddie Hanna. Have you ever heard of Janis Joplin and Big Brother and the Holding Company? If not, go check it out. If it's really good psychedelic rock. Yep, I know Janis Joplin. I have Pearl. I don't have a Big Brother and the Holding Company album though. We'll see if we'll change that next in the new year. Made in Japan is top 5 all-time live albums right now, right up there with The Who Live at Leeds. Yep, that's another good live album. We'll get to that one shortly or later. Live in Long Beach, 1966, from Deep Purple is also good. And Live in Paris, 1975. Yep. All right, I'll look into those. Live from Leeds, a young man ain't got nothing in the world these days. Okay, one of Marillion's best albums. Yep, probably my favorite so far. But that's not the only Marillion album I have. We'll get to that one. Is it this month? Yep. Wait, no. Yeah, in this month we're gonna when we get to June, we're gonna talk about another Marillion album. Okay. Also great. Heaven and Hell, yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah, this is just like stuff about Live in Leeds. Check out Stanley Clarke, the Jimi Hendrix of the bass. Jimi Hendrix of the bass. Yeah, I've heard of him too. Yeah, there's many people I gotta look into. All right, I think that's all the main comments there. So let's go ahead. So for June, we had 23. So definitely more than May, but wait till we get to July. That's gonna be a fun one to get through. Let me take another drink real quick. Doing surprisingly good on time. Been doing this over an hour now. An hour and 12 minutes. So we're good still. Next. So in June. Oh man. I did an unboxing video on this one. And as you know, it's one of the worst albums I've heard in my life. We got Summer in Paradise by the Beach Boys. Cue Mike Love rapping. No, we're not going to do that. I don't have it ready. That would have been a good idea. That would have been a very good troll, would it? If I showed this one, then I immediately cut to Mike Love rapping. That would be fun. To me, that would be funny. I'm not sure it'd be funny for you, but regardless. So yeah, I got Summer in Paradise solely because of Joel, solely just so I can make fun of it in videos. But yeah, I will give it. Like I did a YouTube short on this, and I will give it. The packaging is definitely unique. I don't have any other CDs like this, so it's like that. You open it up here, so you get all this. So I'll give it that for unique packaging, but the album itself, obviously, I got it. It doesn't mean you don't need to buy it. But yeah, it's just hilariously terrible. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. That's Summer in Paradise. Okay, another jazz album next up. Let's talk about something good for once. Let's have The Waltz for Debbie by Bill Evans Trio. So this is a live album, actually. And this is a good, really good jazz album. Like the bass playing on this is just terrific. Of course, Bill Evans is a pretty well-known piano player. On bass, you have Scott LaFaro on bass, and just absolutely kills it here. Like if you love bass, go check this. Gotta listen to this. Like a lot of good moments here. And Paul Motian on drums. Again, very solid. Kind of just keeps the beat going, but still terrific. I'm gonna try and go through this a little bit faster, so bear with me. Another soundtrack, Brother Bear. This is peak Phil Collins telling you how to fail. Yep. I mean, some people like Brother Bear, some people don't. I grew up watching it, so I have a soft spot for it. But I do get the criticisms this film gets. But yeah, Phil Collins does the soundtrack. It's fine. There's some good songs in there. You have Tina Turner singing on the track here, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'm glad I got it. Hold on a sec. Let's get organized. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. We have the debut. Good old classic folk rock at its finest. Yep, classic 60s album. We have Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young with Deja Vu. Another classic album. Again, you have Neil Young really adding his 2 cents into the sound, and definitely a good one. Carry On, Teach Your Children, Almost Cut My Hair, Woodstock, Our House. Yeah, terrific. Now, when it comes to June, I got quite a lot of Electric Light Orchestra this month. So, because on Amazon, like these albums were like $5 a piece, and I was like, there's no way I can pass this up. So, because of this, I bought 7 albums, 8 albums actually. So I bought 8 ELO albums in June. So we'll go through them quickly. So we have the debut right here. Not bad. It's not my favorite. We have ELO 2, which is slightly better. Actually, I should say a whole lot better. I enjoy this one quite a bit. On the Third Day, another okay album. Not many standout songs here, at least for me. Now we start getting interesting. We have El Dorado. Great album right here. Face the Music has some more. Gotta love the back cover. Kind of an interesting one right there. You have Evil Woman and Strange Magic on it, which are both great songs. Yeah, and everything else is really good. A New World Record. Yeah. Again, going more in that commercial sound. And of course, we have the big album. We have Out of the Blue. Terrific album. This actually could be my favorite ELO album, like many people. And the last one I got is Discovery. Definitely has a more funky disco sound to it, but still I enjoy quite a bit. So still a very strong album. So yeah, 8 ELO albums for you. So yeah, awesome. It was good to really get into them more this year. Because I know Jason, Leo Millennial, he's been getting into ELO too. So it's good for me. Because I know we're planning on doing a live stream about Electric Light Orchestra soon. So we'll see. But yeah, no confirmed date yet, but definitely would like to be part of that one. Okay, more black metal. We got Emperor with In the Night Side Eclipse. Again, this is probably another one that people say is one of the best black metal albums ever. Has a lot of symphonic elements to it. But yeah, I like this one. I like the cover too. I think the album cover is very cool. I like the atmosphere. And you have this on the inside. You have the back. Very cool. Another soundtrack, we have Hercules, the Disney movie. Yep. Great. One of my favorite Disney films. I'm not sure where I'd put it, but it's definitely one I have fond memories of watching. Not much to say here, but, it's good. I mean, very gospel, a lot of gospel influence on this one because, they're dealing with gods in this film. So it makes sense to have the soundtrack be very gospel, have very strong gospel influence. Okay, Led Zeppelin with Led Zeppelin 2. Now, I was already familiar with this album before buying it because of streaming platforms, but I never had a physical copy of it. So I have this now, and we'll see more Led Zeppelin later on. Lou Reed with Coney Island Baby. Very good album. Definitely one of his best ones to me. Again, Lou Reed, a very interesting artist. He has a very unique voice. But yeah. Some good. Yeah, you have Crazy Feeling, Charlie's Girl, She's My Best Friend, the title track. Yeah, very good album. I've always loved Lou Reed. I mean, Transformers is one of my favorite albums ever. So, yeah. And here's the other Marillion album I was kind of foreshadowing earlier. But we have Misplaced Childhood. Again, you have Fish here. on lead vocals. And yeah, another good album. Chaley, Lavender, Waterhole, Blind Curve. Yeah, another terrific album. I still prefer Clutching at Straws a bit more, but this is still very, very good. So again, hopefully in 2023 we'll get more Marillion. So we'll see from there. And then here, this one was kind of just why not? Because there's one song on here I liked. We have Michael Bolton with Soul Provider. I only got it because it has How Can We Be Lovers, which I actually do like that song. But everything else is kind of like, it's fine. I don't care for the rest. We have another Miles Davis one. Another one of his jazz fusion albums. This is another one that people say is one of his best. We have Bitches Brew. Very trippy cover, I must say. Again, like I said, is in that jazz fusion realm. And very cool stuff. A lot more. I think this one's a lot more experimental than In a Silent Way, in my opinion. But still, a very cool listen. If you do go and check this album out, be prepared. There's a lot of very interesting directions they go in, but still a great album. All right, Peter Gabriel with his debut, self-titled, still has one of the worst packaging ever. Of course, that. Again, I still can't stand that they don't have a place to put the booklet in. You just have to do that. It's bad. It's terrible, but the album itself is good. Very strong debut. Salisbury Hill, Modern Love, Here Comes the Flood. Yeah, really good one. Almost done here. Okay, here we go. Then Steely Dan makes their return once again with Countdown to Ecstasy. Yeah, another album I kind of had pretty low on that live stream, but it's still a good album. It's just not one that I go back to that often, but it's still enjoyable. Okay, and the last one I got for June, I gotta lean back for a sec because my back's kind of starting to hurt me. Always make sure you have good posture, kids. I like how I said kids, even though I'm technically a kid myself. Regardless, last CD for June. Yeah. I made so many references to this show, quite a bit, more than I probably should have, but he's back. Got Thomas and the Magic Railroad. We got the soundtrack. I mean, come on. We all know how much of a Thomas fan I am. Why do you think this thing appears in the background in most videos? But yeah. So again, the movie is probably not that great when I look back on it, but I have nostalgia for it, and I decided to get the soundtrack to it because why the heck not? Because it was on eBay. It's for a good price, so might as well give it a go. Yep. Let's see. I mean, there's not much to say. Again, there's some songs on here, and you also have the instrumental stuff, but obviously if you're a Thomas fan, you don't care about that. All right. So that is June taken care of. So now we're going to head to July, and then July is the doozy because that has the most CDs. Okay, let's put this away, and then we'll look at chat once more. All right, so be prepared because you'll see just how many CDs I got in July. So here, this is the first stack. And then here's the second stack. Oh my god, I thought I was going to drop it. We're good though. Okay. Yep. I'm going to put up right now. So in July, I got 49. And granted, some of them, the reason why the number's so high is because they were in that box of CDs my uncle gave me. So that's kind of why it's kind of a lot. But yeah, that's why. So let's go to the chat now. you wouldn't get flagged for copyright on Mike Love rapping because the Beach Boys won't admit the album is theirs. That's true. I mean, I have used the Mike Love clip a couple times already, and I don't think they flagged me for that. So, yeah. ELO No Answer isn't very good other than 10538 Overture. Yeah, that's probably the best song. I would agree to that. But yeah, it's fine. It's a fine album. It's not one I go back to though. Face the Music and Discovery are one of my favorites. All right, cool. All right, pretty good. All right, check the time. All right, we are an hour and a half, approaching an hour and a half. All right, here we go. So let's get this one over with. So I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna go through these quickly again. So here we go. Get prepared for this because again, this is 49. All right, next. Here we go. Ace of Base, The Sign sucks. Draw the Line, Aerosmith, very good, very good. Another one of their great 70s albums. Probably not one of my favorite, but still pretty strong. Eye in the Sky by Alan Parsons Group, another very good album. Very surprised by it. Like very good, very proggy. Has kind of an 80s sound to it, but still sounds pretty good. So yeah, I think I recommend a listen. One of the big surprises, we have Anita Baker with Rapture. I very much enjoy this one. It's just good 80s R&B at its finest, and Anita Baker has a great voice. I really enjoy this one. You have Atlantic Star with All in the Name of Love. Pretty okay. Again, this is more 80s R&B. It's not as good as Rapture, but it has some decent songs on here. This one does not have that many good songs. We have, again, Atlantic Star with We're Moving Up. Well, I've said this before, but that's not true because, in my opinion, they went down a couple pegs because the songs here just aren't as memorable. It's fine, but again, nothing really to write home about. The Beach Boys with Surf's Up. Great album. Definitely an album I think needs more attention. Some great songs on here. Like Don't Go Near the Water, Long Promised Road, the title track, Looking at Tomorrow, Disney Girls, terrific. Okay, Beatles, Rubber Soul, classic album, not much to say. It's just one of their very well-known albums, of course. And then, of course, we have Let It Be, which, people have their mixed opinions on it, but I enjoy it still. Belinda Carlisle with Runaway Horses, pretty decent. Not as good as the one prior to this, but still not bad. But this one, not so much. Live Your Life, Be Free. Again, kind of the same problem. Again, songs here just aren't that memorable, not that great. So yeah, I have it, but I can't really say I recommend it. Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. Yeah, I like some Britney Spears. Yeah, not my favorite artist, but when you're in the right mood, you want something a bit lighthearted, you just put on some Britney Spears. You have this is her second album, by the way. I have her debut somewhere up there, but I do have it. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Of course, the one sin this album has is that it has a cover of I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. I don't want to hear that song as a dance number. That's just me. But yeah, that's a thing. If you want to hear Britney Spears do her version of Satisfaction by the Stones, go for it. The Byrds with their debut, Mr. Tambourine Man, good old folk rock at its finest. And the harmonies up on here, of course, and the same thing can be said about the second album, which is Turn, Turn, Turn. Again, great stuff here. Yeah, the title track to this one of my favorite songs ever. So yeah, fantastic 60s like folk rock. More prog. We have Moon Madness by Camel. Of the two Camel ones I bought this year, this is without a doubt my favorite. Love the melodies on this one. Just absolutely great arrangements. Definitely recommend this if you want to get into more progressive rock. Okay, Caravan with In the Land of Grey and Pink. Another pretty well known in the prog scene. Again, very good. I like this one a lot. But I think I like this one a little bit more. We have going, the whole full title is For Girls Who Grow Plump in the Night. This one's, I think I like this one a little bit more. The guitar here is a bit more pronounced. It has a lot more of an edge to it, I think. But yeah, it's a good album. This is definitely worth checking out. Chicago Transit with Chicago Transit Authority, the debut. Yep, good old jazz fusion, jazz rock, just fantastic here. Again, I mean, to many people, this is the real Chicago. I mean, I do love some of the 80s stuff too, but yeah, Chicago definitely, especially in the 60s, they were just a great band. The Doors with Strange Days, their second album. Again, very good follow-up, and I do like how this one has some curved edges. This is the only one I have of this, so very interesting. But yeah, good album. Okay, we have Herbie Hancock with Future Shock, which is a little bit different. It's kind of more of an electro funk, kind of the influence of hip hop. I'm not that into hip hop, so this one didn't really do much for me. But I just wanted to get Herbie Hancock in the collection, so why not? Hiroshima with East, it's fine. Yeah, and it's kind of like 80s jazz, but it has a lot of synth elements to it, which is fine, but again, not really that into. Journey with Freedom. This is the album they came out this year. Great album. Some people didn't like it because the production's not the greatest, but I don't care. I think this is probably this might be my favorite Arnel Pineda album. So yeah, great stuff on here. Like Together We Run, Don't Give Up on Us, Still Believe in Love, You Got the Best of Me, The Way We Used to Be, Afterglow, Beautiful as You Are. But yeah, good album. Of course, Freedom doesn't really apply to Journey anymore because, they're going through a lot of legal stuff at the moment. I'm not getting into that. But this year was also where my Kate Bush love really, really began. So I pretty much got most of the catalog here this month. So Kate Bush, we have Lionheart, great follow-up. There's the back cover. Look, kind of an interesting photo, but yeah, that's Kate Bush for you. Always very unique. We have Never Forever, another good album. I still plan to rank her catalog someday, but it's been on the back burner for a while now. But I still plan to do it. Hopefully next year we'll get to that. But Get the Dreaming. Again, definitely her most out there album. It's her most experimental one, but I love it. Her voice is just going all over the place. She's really going all out on here. This is the first album where she produced everything. She was the main producer. She wrote all the songs. Just fantastic album. Again, not a good one to start with. Like this is an album you put on if you're kind of already familiar with her, but still, I think is a terrific album. Okay, one of her later albums, we have Ariel, which, it's a pretty good album. I like it. At this point, she's not really doing her high register because she is a bit older. So kind of going in more like a more jazzy, some of a jazzy, more softer approach, but still very enjoyable. I like it. Then we have 50 Words for Snow, which is her latest album that came out in 2011. This is probably pretty good. It's definitely her most jazzy album. Definitely probably a good one to play during the holidays, I must say, because it's kind of centered around snow mostly. But yeah, pretty good. I like it. I do like it. It's not one of my favorites though. Okay, I'm going to start a new stack because this is almost covering my face. All right, Kiss with Destroyer. Very good album. one of their classic ones. You have Detroit Rock City, Great Expectations. Of course, you have Beth, which was the big hits with Peter. What's his name? Peter Criss on lead vocals. Like a Storm with Okura. So not this is probably one most people don't know about, but this is a New Zealand band, and they're pretty much pretty good rock band. They add like a didgeridoo to their sound, which is interesting, but I like it. Midnight Oil. This one's called 1098. Wait, let me try that again. 1098765431. That's the whole title. That's the title of the album. But yeah, I got into Midnight Oil this year. Some good stuff. This is a good album. Has some new wave post-punk sounds to it. I dig it. This is probably my favorite one still. We have Diesel and Dust, probably their most commercially successful album. Has the pretty big hit Beds Are Burning. So yeah, go ahead and check this one out if you want to get into Midnight Oil. Like the lead singer Peter Garrett, great. Definitely a unique style. And if you watch videos of him live, definitely has a very unique, definitely a very out there front man. But I enjoy it. But I think it's pretty fun to watch. So yeah, Diesel and Dust by Midnight Oil, really good. Really, I would recommend checking this one out. And the last Midnight Oil I got was Blue Sky Mining, another very strong album. Comes in this little mini vinyl LP, and actually comes in its own little sleeve. And if you look at the disc, take the disc out, it even looks like a little vinyl record. Ain't that cool? Ain't that nice? So yeah. Let's put this away. There we go. Okay, I just got this for historical purposes. We have Milli Vanilli, Girl You Know It's True. So we all know the history of this duo, of how they were exposed for lip syncing their songs. It's fine for what it is. I mean, I got it. I kept it just because of this historical. It's kind of a historical album in a sense, in a way. But yeah, it's just it's whatever. I got nothing to say. Pat Benatar, Live from Earth. Basically is mainly a live album, but also has some studios tracks on there. Definitely want to get more Pat Benatar later down the line. Paul Abdul, again, another 90s R&B type of singer. Not bad. But here we get some good stuff. We have Paul McCartney with Flaming Pie, a terrific album. Another one of those albums that I was really surprised. Really got familiar with this one. I know Adam and Jason did a live stream, kind of ranking the songs on here. Just absolutely spectacular album. So yeah, I recommend this one. This was one of his 90s albums, and definitely spectacular. Still holds the record for the greatest packaging, because again, you have the booklet here attached, and you have the discs there. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, I didn't fold it correctly. Paul Simon, The Rhythm of the Saints. This is the follow-up to Graceland, and I was kind of on the fence because I didn't think this would be as good as Graceland, but I was surprised. This one's actually pretty good. I still prefer Graceland, but this is still very nice. Some good songs on here, so I recommend the listen. Just the greatest hits. We have the Pointer Sisters. Again, it's the greatest hits. Jump for My Love. That's a pretty well-known song. Slow Hand. Not much to say there. Simon and Garfunkel. Speaking of the devil, we have Bridge Over Troubled Water. Great album. They're definitely their best album in my opinion. I mean, the title track is just alone makes it one of my favorites. But everything else, like The Boxer, is also spectacular. Slayer. Oh, Slayer. Slayer. Dang it. Come on. Stay put. There we go. Slayer, Rain and Blood. So we got one of the very well known thrash metal albums ever. Definitely an album that you gotta be in the right mood for. But yeah, when you're in the right mood, it definitely deserves the reputation it has. Definitely a very influential album in a sense for the thrash genre. But yeah, good to have some Slayer here. Okay, you have Smashing Pumpkins with Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. So I know Jason's pretty big into this group, and I bought this album because many people say it's their best, and I agree. This is another really good album. It's a very long album though. There's 28 songs here, and it comes in 2 discs. So you open it up. There's disc 1. There's disc 2 on the other. But still, a really good album. A lot of great songs on here. Again, it's a long album, so be prepared if you ever want to check this one out. But there's still some good stuff here. Starship, just the greatest hits. Not much to say. Taylor Dane, Tell It to My Heart. Again, another one of those 80s female singers. I like it. Can't Fight Fate, again by Taylor Dane, another pretty decent one. Temptations, Greatest Hits, My Girl, Papa Was a Rolling Stone. Yeah, only 10 songs on here, but gives you what you want. JC Chapman with her self-titled debut. Very good one. Very surprised about this one because it's kind of a more country, very folky sort of sound, but still very good. I think they're worth listening to, as well as this one right here. We have Crossroads, which is her second album. So yeah, some strong stuff, I must say. They're very good, very unique vocal as well. Okay, last 2 of July. You have Wilson Phillips. So if you don't know, this is kind of a super group. Kind of, I don't know. I don't think so. But this has let me just see. I gotta look up their names. I forgot their names, but I know they are pretty well known here. So you have Carney Wilson and Wendy Wilson, of course, the daughters of Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. And then you have Shayna Phillips, who is the daughter of Michelle Phillips from the Mamas and the Papas. So this is their group that they put together, and this debut, pretty good. Very solid stuff, good. It's just your typical 80s, late 80s, I guess, soft rock sort of sound. Yeah, it's pretty good. Then you have Shadow and Light, not as strong, I'd say, but still decent. I mean, all 3 of them are pretty good vocalists. But this one doesn't really have that many memorable songs, but still enjoyable. I think it's still a decent listen to. Okay, that's all July. That's 49 C's I just blazed through. Okay, let's see. Let me just check real quick. Okay, good. I'm just going to get rid of the banner right now. So now we get to September next because I took a break in August. Funny enough, I was able to not buy anything in August, but in just this month, I failed miserably. It's kind of weird. Because granted, when I was in August, I was doing the CD collection series where I went through all my CD collection at the time. And I guess that kind of gave me some kind of distraction. So didn't have that for December, unfortunately. So anyhow, we'll look at the chat in a sec. Let's go ahead. I'm going to put this away. And we'll get the next stack going. Luckily, September doesn't have that many. Well, there's still a lot, but not as many. All right. Okay, cool. Now we head over here. September. All right. Let's see. Hold on. Britney Spears to recover. I can't get no satisfaction. That sounds terrible. Well, it's not good, but yeah, definitely not what I want to hear with that song. That Chicago album is amazing. Yes, it is. Haven't listened to that Journey album. I think it's worth a listen. Again, production wise, it's not the greatest sounding album, but I think the songs are strong enough. They hold on their own. All right. If you think the Smashing Pumpkins album is long, you should see Stadium Arcadium by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Well, sadly, I'm not much of a Red Hot Chili Pepper fan, unfortunately. So I don't know if I'll check that album out. But yeah. So cool. So we have 7 people in here. Again, thank you very much. And we are approaching 2 hours of this. So, yeah, hopefully I'll get this done in another 45 minutes or so. Because, I'm hungry. I need to eat something before I go back to work. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's see. Let me get, where am I? I'm good. There we go. Let's go ahead. So we're in September now. So now in September, we got 39. So 39 CDs this month. So we'll kind of think something I did. Same thing. I'll try to get to this quickly and only give brief thoughts. So first up, we have this America little box set. So again, like the one I did for the monkey, I showed for the Monkees, this has 5 albums. So this has the debut, very good debut. We have Homecoming, which might be my favorite. Hat Trick, probably my least favorite. Holiday, decent. And Hearts, pretty good. Yeah, America, good old fashioned, kind of folk rock, little slight country, not too many though, but mostly a folk rock, soft rock act, but very enjoyable stuff. Yeah, I enjoy America. Of course, my favorite song is The Last Unicorn, which I've talked about before. Put that there. Okay, we have another live album here. We have Blue Oyster Cult, On Your Feet and On Your Knees, a great live album. Kind of this is what the band, pretty much capturing what the band was doing during their early period. This is when they just released their first 3 albums. So terrific stuff. Okay, got a notification on my phone. Let me just look at it real quick. Okay. Sorry about this. That's why I should probably turn off my phone when I'm doing this. Okay. I'll look at it later. Let's get back to this. Budgie. Good old hard rock band from the late 70s. Not many people know about them, but I got into them. Again, the lead singer has a uncanny resemblance to Geddy Lee. Of course, they don't sound anything alike, in my opinion. But still a good hard rock band. Definitely worth checking out. This is their debut. And I also bought Bandolier, which is, I think, is of these 2, this one's probably my favorite. But yeah, great stuff. Deep Purple, once again, we have Now What? We have one of their later albums. This came out in 2013. A very strong album here. Very good stuff. Of course, this was the first, I think, not the first one. But by this point, John Lord had passed away, and so you have Don Airey on keyboards, and still sounds great here. I mean, Ian Gillan, obviously by this point, Ian wasn't doing those high-pitched screams anymore, but he still sounds great here. And of course, Steve Morse on guitar, great guitar player. So I'm glad I got that one. Eagles, One of These Nights. Again, it's Eagles. I like the Eagles, so I had to get one. I'm almost there. I almost have their whole catalog. We're getting there. The Polite Force by a band called Egg, a very kind of obscure progressive rock band. Pretty cool. Needs to listen to it more though. We got another Emperor album. We have this one right here. This one's called Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk. and kind of similar to the first album I showed earlier, and in that symphonic black metal sound, but still pretty cool. Okay, my first death metal album. We have Entombed, Left Hand Path. Yeah, I'm starting to get into some death metal now, so that's happening. We'll see how that goes next year. Another soundtrack, we have Fantasia. It's, of course, the Disney film. I enjoy, and this was just a lot of classical music. So if you don't like classical, then you're not going to really dig these. But Fantasia, pretty well known Disney film. Again, it's mostly a bunch of shorts, but with classical music played over top. Definitely got to be in the right mood for it, but definitely when you're in the right mood, definitely a nice little listen, I'd say. And this was during the time where these were kind of in whenever there was a 2-disc collection, they would put them on separate jewel cases, which I'm kind of glad they don't do that anymore. That's annoying. Okay, Fleetwood Mac, Mystery to Me. Again, very bad cover, but still absolutely love the music in here. Fantastic stuff. Very underrated. I think this is during the Bob Welch era, and I think this is definitely my favorite of that era so far. But yeah, you have Emerald Eyes, Hypnotized, Why, great Christine number. So yeah, again, go and listen to Why. Yeah, again, Christine's on vocals and just absolutely gorgeous song. Gentle Giant with their self-titled debut, another prog band, very well known, but very strong debut. Heart, Dogs and Butterfly, another great Heart album. Herbie Hancock. So I went back and got one of his more jazz albums, and this one's a lot better in my opinion. Granted, again, I'm not a hip hop guy, but this is way up more my alley. Fantastic one. Jane Siberry. So Larry Graves of Canadian Stud Muffin showed this one off. So this is called The Walking. Again, it's by Jane Siberry, and he described it as the Canadian version of Kate Bush. And I was kind of curious, and I bought it. And I listened to it, and I can definitely hear it. Not quite though, at least to my ears. It still has. I do hear what he's talking about. But it's me, Kate Bush is kind of on a league of her own, But still, I still think it's a very enjoyable album. So yeah, very good one. I think go ahead and check it out. Jefferson Airplane, Surrealistic Pillow. Again, pretty well known. Really one of the more well known albums. I was trying to think. Great Slick on here again. Very good psychedelic album. Jesus Christ Superstar. Very, very. I love this one. Another one of my favorites this year. But yeah, this was before it became a very well-known stage play. Back then, at this point, it was solely just an album. You have Ian Gillan playing Jesus on here, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you want to hear Ian Gillan be Jesus, then go ahead. This is just terrific. You have and all the other singers on here are also spectacular, and just a great concept album. But yeah, fantastic. Love it. Okay, I also got into some John Denver this year. Here we have Poems, Prayers, and Promises, and then we also got Back Home Again. Yep, I'm starting to become more accustomed to John Denver. Just a great vocalist. Love the purity in his voice. Very enjoyable. Okay, we have John Mayall and the Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton. So like I said, you have Eric Clapton guest starring on here. Basically, it's just your typical 60s blues rock. Pretty good. And you have John McVie on bass on here, which is pretty cool. This was before he would join Fleetwood Mac. So yeah, very cool. Back to more black metal, we have Judas Iscariot, To Embrace the Corpse's Bleeding. Another one of my favorite black metal albums I've heard this year. Again, I love the variety in it. Terrific. And then we have the final Kate Bush album, to complete the catalog. We have The Red Shoes, a very underrated album, I think. Some good songs on here. Not really as consistent as prior albums, but still some great songs on here. And I know there's director's cuts, which is more like a re-recording of some songs that she did prior. I'm not sure if I'll get that, but we'll see. But yeah, this is still a good album. Okay, Led Zeppelin 4, Untitled. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, I kind of blacked out for a sec. Let's see. Dang it. Okay, hold on. My dang internet. Okay, I'm going to keep going and see how it goes. Which is funny. Now my internet starts to mess with me. Anyhow, Led Zeppelin 4. Again, very familiar with this album prior to buying it, but never had a physical copy, but now I finally do. So, there's not much to say on that one. Lee Ritenour. Interesting one. So, found this one. I was like, just give it a listen. So, this is kind of like a late 80s, early 90s jazz. It's kind of like easy listening, but I liked it. I think it's pretty good. I liked it. You know, Lee Ritenour is a guitarist. You don't really get many like guitar solos or anything like that, but the guitar is more like a textural thing. It's not like, again, it's not like a riff. There's no like riffs or noodling or anything. It's just very texturally very good. So yeah, I like this one. So this is a collection, by the way. So I'm guessing this is like greatest hits. Leonard Skinner, Street Survivor, probably my favorite Leonard Skinner album right now. Very good, Southern rock. Mayhem, another live album. Again, back to black metal. Pretty cool. Megadeth, with their latest album that came out this year, with The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. Again, very good. I mean, Dave Mustaine sounds great. All the guitar work on that one's fantastic. So I think Megadeth are in a good place right now. Ray Charles, Genius Loves Company. Here he's collaborating with a bunch of people like Elton John, Norah Jones, James Taylor. So many guests on this one, but very enjoyable. Santana with his debut. Very cool. Latin rock, jazz fusion type of thing. It's great stuff. And then we have more Simon and Garfunkel, because this month I went out and got the whole catalog. So we have the debut, Wednesday morning through 8 a.m. Pretty good. Some good songs on there, but obviously they do much better. And we have Sounds of Silence, another very good one. Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. Then finally we got Bookends. But yeah, Simon Garfunkel, really great catalog. Only 5 albums, but just absolutely spectacular stuff. Okay, Supremes with Gold. So this is a 2 CD greatest hits, and I love me when greatest hits are in two discs, because you have a lot of songs. But yeah, Supremes. What can be said about them? One of the great girl acts of the 60s, especially during the Motown. During Motown. And then last one for September, another live album. We have Yes Songs. Yep, terrific live album. It has all basically another Yes greatest hits. You have all the big songs like Siberian Khatru, Heart of the Sunrise, and You and I. Of course, Roundabout, Close to the Edge. Yeah, great live album. All right, September done. Getting there. It's gonna be 2:00, so we've been at this for 2 hours now. Again, we're gonna be October. Thankfully, October is very short. There's only I might as well show 15 CDs in October. So let me just go ahead and put this away. Okay, and then October. Again, short stack. I didn't get that many on October. All right, back to chat. Let's see what you've been saying. BOC on your feet is right up there with Live at Leeds. Okay, very cool. Needs more cowbell. always need more cowbell. Well, sadly, the Blue Oyster Cult one doesn't have that song, doesn't have Don't Fear the Reaper on it, because it came out just before that song came out. So, oh well. Blues Breaker is pretty good. I like Cream better. Well, that's a given. Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? Yep. Great song. Nick and I said we should rank the Simon Garfunkel albums after the Beach Boys, since they have a small catalog. Well, if you want me in, I'm all for it. It's pretty easy. I think I can pretty much come up with my own with a ranking pretty quick. All right, it's cool. All right, moving on to October. So again, only 15. So we'll blaze through this one pretty quickly. Okay, Anita Baker back again with Rhythm of Love. Probably the most disappointing one, because I really enjoyed Rapture and I got this thinking it's going to be good, and sadly it's not that great. Just not that many memorable songs, unfortunately. I'm gonna kind of lower my webcam a little bit. Here we go, just so I can lean back a bit more. Let me see if I can turn off my light. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's better. Unless, let me just see if I can change my light a bit more. Okay, I just kind of dimmed it. I'm just going to turn off my TV, because that's not really, you can't really see it anyway. There we go. All right, just going to turn that off. All right. Anyhow, so yeah, this very disappointing with this one. Again, she sounds good, but the songs just aren't there. Here's a disc-only copy of the Blasters. So if you don't know the Blasters, they're kind of like they are kind of a 80s rockabilly band. Think of like something like the Stray Cats, kind of bring rockabilly back into the mainstream. And this is a good album. This is a really fun one. So you can't really hear it on Spotify, sadly, so you have to go on YouTube. But yeah, very fun album. I'm glad I got this. I know Glenn Calloway from The Basement showed this one. That's kind of made me want to get it. More Budgie. We have In for the Kill. Another very good Budgie album. We have Cannibal Corpse, Butchered at Birth. Okay. Yeah. Another death metal album. I've heard people say this is a good one, but now I'm hearing people say this is not a good Cannibal Corpse album. So I don't know. So we'll try them again, probably in the new year. We have The Cars, Heartbeat City. Very good. 1984, I think, came out. Great songs here. Of course, you have like songs like Drive and Hello Again. Title track. You Might Think. Yeah, very fun album. Okay, Chick Corea, Return Forever, another jazz fusion type of album. Very cool. Chick Corea is kind of like a keyboard player. There are vocals on here. Who's the vocalist? Flora Perim. That's the vocalist. She definitely has an accent, but doesn't distract me too much. Now this one does have Stan Clark on it, which somebody in the chat mentioned them before, but he's on here. So yeah, pretty cool. Very cool album. Eagles. Yeah, got the debut. Not much to say, but I think I just need to get Across the Border. I think that's the last one I need to complete the Eagles catalog. Okay, Gentle Giant once again with Three Friends, their third album. Another good one. This one is a concept album, kind of telling the story of these three friends, starting with their friendship and on to when they get older. Very cool. Grand Funk Railroad with Closer to Home. The first Grand Funk Railroad album in a long time. Yeah, very good album. Again, the bass on this one is what really makes me come back to Grand Funk Railroad. Just always very good and high in the mix. Another John Denver with Rocky Mountain High. Another very, very cool album. And Luskin once again with Second Helping, their second album. Another good album. We have Sweet Home Alabama. Let's see. Working for MCA. Ballad of Curtis. Sort of read that. But yeah, that song, you know what I'm trying to say. Mariah Carey with Daydream. Another kind of a surprise because for a long time I was kind of avoiding Mariah Carey. But I saw this one in the thrift store and I was like, yeah, why not? Let's give it a listen. Let's see if I like it. And I actually do like it. Yeah. Fantasy's good. One Sweet Day. Her cover of Open Arms by Journey is actually pretty good. I actually enjoy it. Obviously, nothing can top Steve Perry, but still very good. Always Be My Baby. But yeah, I like it. Opeth, Blackwater Park. So this is a progressive death metal album. Yeah, another very good album. I think I still prefer Still Life, but I might need to listen to this one again. But very cool. Patti LaBelle with Gems. Again, I like this way more than the Anita Baker one, surprisingly, but still. I always liked Patti LaBelle, pretty good vocalist, so it's good to have her in the collection. And last one for October is Smashing Pumpkins with Siamese Dream. After getting the Melancholy album, I want to get more, and I decided to get this one. This is another one that people seem to enjoy. And yeah, it's a really good one. I think I still prefer Melancholy, actually. But still, a very good album. But yeah, and it's a lot shorter, so yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so that is October. So now we're getting to the point where just trying to get caught up. Luckily, I can just put that. You don't have to get up this time. All right, let me get the. Let's get November. Like at this point, November and December are kind of fresh, so I'm really not gonna go too in depth. I'm just gonna, because you can just go back and watch my CD haul videos on them. So again, I'll go through this quickly, and we'll kind of close out from here. Again, thank you for those who have watched this whole thing, and even to those who were here briefly, and then thank you for coming by. And if you're watching the replay, then thank you for watching this as well. Okay, go to the chats. Let's get rid of this. Chat time. The best thing about the blasters is the album cover. Yep, the album cover is very fun. I'm kind of sad I don't have a CD copy that comes with the cover. But it's fine. It's better than nothing, because that CD is surprisingly very hard to find. I checked Amazon, didn't have it. I checked eBay, didn't have it. Discogs had two, and there was only two on Discogs. There was one that was complete, but it was way too expensive. And then the disc one I got, and the other one was the disc only copy, so it's better than nothing. Budgie, aka Budgie, rips off Fly By Nights. Well, they don't really sound like. It really doesn't sound like Fly By Nights to me. It's just your straightforward hard rock. But still, it's a good hard rock album. Second Helping is my favorite singer album. It's pronounced Curtis Lowe. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because the thing's in cursive. I can't read cursive. So yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that you were there, Garrett. Yeah, you were. Yeah, I remember you watching it. And then consider getting Grand Funk on Time, their debut. Yep, that's on the list. Yeah, it's on my Amazon like shopping cart, but haven't really. And other albums kind of come into play, so that happens. All right, November 29. So yeah. Again, I'm going to go through this quickly because I did the CD haul, because the CD haul video is very kind of fresh. Same with December, so I'm going to go through these quickly. Again, Revolver by the Beatles, the White Album. Both of them are the new remixes by Giles Martin. Celine Dion, These Are Special Times. Just got it for the Christmas season. Again, then we have Flaunt the Imperfection by a band called China Crisis. Very cool album. Like, this is kind of more like a synth pop, new wave sort of sound. But what's kind of cool is that there's a little bit of a jazz element to it, but not much. But you have Walter Becker of Steely Dan producing this, and god dang, it sounds great. So I think it's worth. I think this is definitely worth a listen. Diamond Star Halo is by Def Leppard. Whatever, I don't care. It's like whatever. It's a Def Leppard album. Why not? Elvis Presley with this Little Greatest Hits. I mentioned before, but this is not the new version, which has like other songs that came out, when the biopic was kind of fresh. I just got the standard one, which is fine. Not really interested in the other one. Yeah, George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. Great little box set here. 3 discs. Definitely a great album. Plastic Ono Band by John Lennon. Classic album. One of his best, I must say. John Lennon and Yoko Ono with Double Fantasy. Good, really good one. I think it's a good album for John to go out on, I think. And I actually didn't mind some of the Yoko stuff, surprisingly. Aside from maybe a couple songs. But, the Yoko stuff didn't actually bother me. Surprise. Imagine that. Michael Jackson, Thriller. I said it before. This is I've had it. I already did own a copy of it, but this is a new version, which sounds a lot better than my old copy. So yeah, good to have it. Motorhead, Ace of Spades, great heavy metal, kind of speed metal album. Lemmy, rest in peace to him, one of the famous faces of the genre. Neil Young, after the Gold Rush. Good Neil Young album. Good to have more of him. Nick Cave and the Bad Seed with The Boatman's Call. Really enjoyed it. Again, kind of wish there was more variety on that album, but still good first album of theirs I've checked out. Oasis with What's the Story, Morning Glory. Really good album. Another one, kind of the big surprises, because I've always heard the hits, but hearing this album in full for the first time, definitely a good listen. Okay, Paul McCartney, Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. I know Jason was a big fan of it, and I like it. Hasn't quite grabbed me yet, sadly, still. But still, I will give it another chance sometime. Okay, we have more Paul McCartney. Okay, we have Ram. Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney. Yeah, I can see why people really enjoy this one. Very good. Fantastic stuff here. Probably my favorite song on here is probably Monkberry Moon Delight. That's a really good, because Paul McCartney's really going in on those vocals on that song. I really enjoy the grit he puts on it. So yeah, great album. Aria Speedwagon, Wheels Are Turning. I just got it because it has the Can't Fight This Feeling. That's one I really enjoy that song. But yeah, the other songs are good too. But obviously, the hits are the best songs on it. We have Brexis by Santana. Again, another strong album. Has their version of Black Magic Woman, of course, originally from Fleetwood Mac. But yeah, everything else is good. Oni Como Va, another great song. Katie Lied, Steely Dan, just to finish out the classic period. Katie Lied, great album, one of my favorites. Definitely was very high for me. Yeah, very underrated one, I'd say, because not many people talk about it, but I think it's definitely worth a listen. And then we also got Gaucho as well. Very good. Yeah. Again, it really has that yacht rock feel, but I enjoy the yacht rock, so it doesn't bother me still. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers with Damn the Torpedoes. Finally started getting some more Tom Petty. And yep, another great one, as well as this one. This is one of Tom's solo albums. We have Full Moon Fever. Yep, great one. Again, has a lot of big hits like Free Falling and I won't back down. Now here, these two albums are from an artist that I was very surprised, probably the biggest surprise of this year. And this is actually a newer artist. So I bought 2 of her albums. So the first one I'm going to show came out in 2019, and it is Adele. And the artist is, her name is Wise Blood, and Titanic Rising. Fantastic album. Absolutely loved it. Again, some beautiful arrangements here, and I said before, but she has like a very Karen Carpenter style. Like, I hear her voice, and she definitely has a Karen Carpenter feel, which I really enjoy. And you have songs like I'd say, after you're done, once the stream's over and you're still watching this, and even if you're watching the replay of this, like the songs I would recommend you check out on this album, like I would recommend Andromeda. That's probably the number one song to check out, because there's like some good slide guitar on it by the sounds of it. Beautiful song. And another song is Every Day. Every Day, just every day. Something to Believe, then Movies, Mirror Forever. Like, go check out those songs if you, of course, once you're done watching this. But yeah, absolutely love it. Love this album. So yeah, that's Wise Blood, Titanic Rising. Fantastic. Might make the top 30 this Friday. But of course, I bought her latest album. This one's called "And in the Darkness, Hearts Aglow." And it definitely even the back has like kind of like a 70s look to it. But yeah, very good. Again, obviously this one, I still think this one's better, but this one is definitely not that far behind. This is still very good. Songs here that are really good. It's Not Just Me, It's Every Day. Children of the Empire. That's probably my favorite song on here. Another song I'll kind of highlight is called Twin Flame. The intro has kind of like an In the Air Tonight Phil Collins intro to it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this is also really good. So Wise Blood, yeah, one of the big surprises of this year. Really enjoyed these two. Can't wait to see what she does next, and I'll talk about her again in a bit. But now we get to the Who, because we got to a ton of Who albums this month. But yeah, Garrett, I know Garrett's still here, hopefully, but he sent me, of course, the Who Sings My Generation, the American version of the debut. Again, thank you, Garrett, once again for getting this. Very good to have. But I also bought some Who albums myself. Of course, I got the Who Sell Out. This is the deluxe edition, which has a mono and stereo. Another very great album, as well as this one, Quadrophenia. Definitely up there, probably my top 3. And then we have the Who by Numbers, which I know many people aren't a huge fan of, but to me, this album is very underrated. Like, Slip Kid, I know. Again, this obviously this is the follow up to Quadrophenia, and obviously there was no way they could top it. So I don't mind them going in a more straightforward direction. I mean, like the title says, it's the Who by Numbers. But to me, it's a very underrated album. Like Slip Kid, however much I booze. Squeezebox, it's a silly song, but I don't mind it. But the side 2 has some really good songs on here, like They Are All in Love, Success Story. But of course, one of my favorite songs on here is Blue, Red, and Gray. Just a gorgeous song. You have Pete on ukulele, and you have John Entwistle providing some horns. Just beautiful song. I absolutely adore it. But yeah, great stuff. And that concludes November. So yeah, I got through that pretty quickly, I'd say. So now, go ahead, move this out, and we can finally get to December. Which, I'll go through December quickly, because the CD haul was like, what, 2 days ago? Like, yesterday? So, obviously, I have nothing much else to add on them. So, I'll just grab them. Oh god. That was a close one. Nothing fell. Nothing hit the ground. We're good. Okay. I gotta get it under control. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right. I'm good. Okay, let's go to the comments. Where was I? Here we go. Kiss 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 is a horrible song on Double Fantasy. Yeah, that was the song I was referring to. Yeah, that's the song I was kind of like, no, thank you. I don't want to hear Yoko have an orgasm in my ear, thank you. Okay, I need to listen to that Oasis album. Yeah, I think you should. I think it's definitely worth the listen. Believe it or not, I like the stereo version of the Who Sell Out better. Yeah, I kind of don't have a preference personally, but I think both are fine. Let's see who's next in a bit. We'll get there in a bit. But first, let's finish December. All right, so now we get to December. 44 CDs in total. Again, I'll go through this very quickly because you can just go back and watch that CD haul video I did yesterday. So if you want to see my thoughts, just go watch that once I'm done. So I'm going to blaze through this. So we have Beach Boys, Sunflower. We have the Beach Boys, the 2 CD pack with Carl and the Passions in Holland, plus the EP. Billy Joel, The Nylon Curtain. Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. Bob Dylan, Bring It All Back Home. Pete Garrett and Billy the Kid, again from Bob Dylan. We have Lavender Days by Camp. Now and the Evermore by Colin Hay. Deep Purple, Stormbringer. Dire Straits, Making Movies. Fleetwood Mac, Tusk. Foreigner, Head Games. Agent Provocation, again by Foreigner. Then we have the Guess Who, again another one of these collections, but it comes with, of course, Canned Wheat, American Woman, Share the Land, So Long, I still don't know how to pronounce it, but Bonatine, and finally Rockin'. Again, very good albums there, I'd say. Very underrated band. Put this away. There we go. Then, of course, Nick, gave me 2 Hollies albums with Butterfly and Distant Light. Then we also got Jackson Browne, another great album. And of course, John Lennon, Imagine. Joni Mitchell, For the Roses. Juice Newton, Greatest Hits and More. Led Zeppelin, House of the Holy. Men at Work, Business as Usual. Norah Jones, Come Away With Me. Blanking, Peter Gabriel, number 4, or Security. Ringo Starr with Just Ringo. The Rolling Stones, Beggar's Banquet. Goat's Head Soup, It's Only Rock and Roll, again from the Rolling Stones. And then last Rolling Stones album is Some Girls. Saxon, Power and the Glory. Sky Wallace, Terribly Good. Tears for Fears, The Tipping Point. Traffic, self-titled. Velvet Underground and Nico. Another Wise Blood. This is her 3rd or 2nd. This one's called Front Row Seat to Earth. Again, more CDs that Garrett sent me was A Quick One and Live at Leeds. Then, of course, we have Paul McCartney and Wings with Band on the Run. And finally, we got Wishbone Ash, self-titled debut. All right. There you have it. Got through it all. Oh, my God. That was... I know. Man, imagine if I do this again next year. How many C's do you think we'll get in 2023? All right. Let's go ahead. All right. I'm going to get rid of the banner now because we're done. I am done with those. All right. Put this over here. All right. Well, that's all the CDs. That's all 244. But I know Garrett says, earlier, let's see who's next. Well, I'll do it right now. So, hold on a sec. So, here you go. There you go. Who's next? This is what you meant, right? Who's next? This is who's next, right? There's the back. Here's the CD. There you go. All right. So yeah, there you go. You saw it. Okay. Well, actually, no. All right. I know what you mean. So I guess I will show these ones off because this year I did acquire some vinyl thanks to Garrett's, of course, and I am going to go ahead and show them all. I'm going to move a couple things. So of course, the first one he sent me was, of course, this beauty. Again, who's next? I almost said who sell up for some reason, but yeah. Yep. Again, this is probably the crowning jewel here on MCA Records. Yep, absolutely spectacular. And he also sent me Meaty Beady Big and Bouncy. Again, this was actually supposed to be a CD copy, but I got vinyl instead, which is still cool. It's still cool though. Of course, I didn't know what the title meant originally, but apparently that's each like adjective is supposed to describe each member. So we have Meaty, I think, is supposed to be for Roger Daltrey because he's probably the most fit. Beady, because I think that's more Keith. I can't remember Keith. I think it's supposed to be Keith because drums. Big, actually, I forgot who's who, but I can't remember who's who. But yeah, I have to look that up later, unless somebody knows. But of course, another one he sent. Of course, we have the Juice Newton album, which of course I have the CD copy of it now. But yeah, Barbra Streisand, Happening in Central Park. Okay, and then of course the piece de resistance. We got Barry. We have Streisand with Barry Gibb with Guilty. There we go. Don't they look lovely together? But yeah, that is it. So again, we'll see in 2023. We'll see if the vinyl collection grows. But we'll see from there. I'm just gonna put these all away. All right, and that should do it for this stream. Wow, 2.5 hours exactly. Cool. Let's look at some final comments here. Yeah, I did show the Barry Gibb. The Best Who album. Yep. Who's next? Yep, definitely. Yeah. I was gonna throw shade at Nick again, but I think Nick's been through enough of that. Great live stream, although I missed 45 minutes. Totally fine. Glad you can stop by towards the end. Big is John. Okay, thank you. And Bouncy is Pete. Okay, that makes sense. I predict a lighter CD purchase amount for 2023. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I'm not gonna count on it. Okay, and then of course Garrett has a live stream coming this Saturday. I'm going to be announcing the winner of his contest. It's too late. It's kind of too late to make an entry if you haven't already. So obviously we'll find out the winner on Saturday. Hopefully I'll be there. But yeah, I might be in Mexico, so we'll see how well my internet's there. So we'll see. And of course there's going to be family there, so hopefully I'll have some privacy. But we'll see what happens there. I look forward to that. Those were my first 2 Who albums back in '92. Yeah, cool. Okay, other things to look forward to on the channel. So tomorrow will be my top 10 worst CD purchases and finds of 2022. So it gives me a chance to talk about some of the finds that I didn't really care or like. So it's kind of a negative video, but it should be a fun one still. And then on Saturday, not Saturday, Friday, will be the top 30 best CD purchases and finds, plus some honorable mentions, of course. So we'll still be plenty of. So I'll show some love to some of my favorite ones that I've acquired this year. And then Saturday will be the whole end of the year reflection, kind of talking about how much this channel, talking about the progression of this channel throughout this year. So, and also hopefully get some shout outs in that one as well. I'll probably have to pre-record that one. It'll probably be tomorrow night because again, I'm not sure if I'm going to be in Mexico this Saturday, so I'm going to have to plan ahead. So I'll try to have them recorded pretty soon and then have it scheduled for Saturday, so you still get that video. But that's it for me. Last comments from Garrett. My first Who album was Who's Next in 2021, and AKA the official reveal for your name change. Well, that's a good one to end off. I'll leave it there. I'll talk more on that when we get there. But yeah, again, thank you very much for sticking by. Again, to the people who have watched, who actually are still here. Again, thank you for watching. For those who were here briefly but had to leave, thank you very much for coming by. And if you're watching this replay and you watch this whole thing, again, thank you again for watching. Again, like, comments, subscribe, you know the drill. And I'll see you next time. Take care and goodbye for now. I'm going to go ahead and disappear.